there, love bugs. How are you guys doing today? I hope each and every single one of you is well. My name is Rabbit, and thank you for joining me for episode number 39 of Let's Play Final Fantasy I via the lens of Final Fantasy Origins. In our previous episode, we knocked out the first of two tasks that we need to undertake here in the Sunken Shrine. And as a quick reminder, what the first task entailed was us picking up the Rosetta Stone. So some of you may be wondering, okay, Rabbit, well, we found this. What's really left to do down here? Well, we had spoken with a couple of mermaids in our last episode, and they pretty much gave us the lowdown that if we do not intervene with the dark presence and the evil force that is here, they are going to turn into bubbles, which we do not want any bubble making happening down here. Sounds nice on paper, but I'm sure it will be a quite painful experience that we do not want them to have to deal with. So let's do our best to prevent that. And oh gosh, a water naga, I think we will be okay. I don't really need to use the healing staff. Everyone's HP is looking good because in our last episode we did go back to town just to heal up everyone. But of course, it wouldn't be a welcome back to the episode without some BS damage being thrown my party's way. But that's okay. Melvin is persevering and grabbing his next level, and with it, woo! 29 HP, holler! Plus some endurance. I mean, I'd say that's okay. Would have been nice to maybe get a little bit of extra luck, but we are not going to complain. And while I'm thinking about it, I think Rohi, yeah, there we go. 854 experience points away from his 33rd level. Everyone else should be stable and will be where they're at for a while. Obviously, Melvin just hit his, and Tyrone hit his 33rd level relatively recently. So let's dive into task number 2 / objective number 2 here in the Sunken Shrine. We had kind of gone through that right-hand side, so now we're going to be tackling the left-hand side. And I just want to remind you guys that down here in the Sunken Shrine, I would really want to emphasize the importance and value, oops, as I'm scrolling way too far down here. I would really encourage you to make sure you set aside the time to explore and find all the treasures here. We did see in our last episode that we picked up a couple of weapons that have spell effects tied to them, which is going to be incredible when you're navigating future areas and future dungeons and you don't want to have to exhaust all of your mage's spells. So we've got now access to Fire 2 for free, basically. We've got access to, I think Dia 2 came with the light axe. And then we have Muddle, which was with what? The spell binder. And then the mage's staff obviously is Burl just showed us does have the spell Fire 2. So let's go through all of that again. I swear I speak English, you guys, sometimes better than other days, but it's okay. I eventually get my point across and it works out just fine. You guys get me. You know exactly what I'm saying and exactly where I'm coming from. And if not, welcome to the party. I promise you'll get used to me after a while. I've been on YouTube for about a decade, a little over a decade actually, and I mean, my gosh, you guys, I'm still the same bubblehead that I've always been. But here is Rohit's level, only 7 HP. You're gonna let Melvin show you up like that, but he got some agility, some intelligence, and a dash of luck, which is what I was hoping we would get on Melvin, but it works out okay. Maybe bubblehead is not quite accurate. Well, okay, yeah, it probably is. I'm sure some people were immediately like, objection, Rabbit. Yeah, bubblehead is a good description for you. Well, I will have you friends know I mostly know what's going on some of the time. I guess that doesn't count as mostly, right? It depends on the game. I've got some games that I know like the back of my hand and I can hit you guys with the most thorough of walkthroughs and guides. And then there's some where I'm like, what direction are we even heading in? I have no clue. Okay, let's see. Let's go up this way first and just see what's up here. I was just sharing with you guys that I think it's important to kind of exhaust exploring everything so you do not miss anything of great value. I think we'll be okay. I don't really recall this floor being as wild as the other ones, but who knows? Who knows? It's a crapshoot at this point. The Sunken Shrine's layout kind of all is gelling together in my mind here, but you know, we did find everything we needed to, and one of the things that I think is worth celebrating about this dungeon is that it's not that big, it's just a little confusing, and holy crap, these monsters do a lot of damage. I'm not okay with this. So we're just not even going to play games with them. We will take them out, grab our gil, and we are getting a lot of money here. So if you guys did have to pass up on buying anything earlier on, and you didn't really want to devote the time to grinding like I had done, then now's kind of the dungeon where you're really going to see a return on all of that. Because I'd say we've gotten so much gil just from everything that we've been doing and everywhere we've been going and exploring. And you have a lot of weapons that you can go ahead and sell if you don't really like relying on the consumable aspect or the consumable component to some of these weapons, and you don't really care about the spells. I think they're important to hold on to, but some other people may not. Ooh, there are stairs here. Do we really want? Well, let's just take it and see. We're probably fine. I may run back just to be 100% sure that we're not leaving anything behind on that previous floor. There's always time to explore and backtrack, so I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it. And kind of like you guys saw in our previous episode, I will probably do a whole lot of... Okay, really? There's nothing there? Let's take these stairs then. I'll probably cut out... What on earth is going on? How many sets of stairs are we going to have to take? Or did that just... What? Oh! I'm a goober, is what this is telling me. 110 gil. This probably is where we need to go. 450 gil. Or maybe it's not. What on earth? Oh. Okay. Game? What on earth? I guess let's see. Woo, that's a lot of money. Well, we'll happily grab it. I don't know where we are. That took me for a loop-de-loop, that's for sure. It's all good, friends. It's all good. We'll see what goodies we pick up here, and then I might just run back on my own, because I'm not trying to miss anything, and holy crap, more Okay. I guess these sharks want to play with me. We'll just leave this in. They're not taking too long to take down. Get lost, shark. Actually, sometimes they run, too, so I really don't understand why some of these enemies want to square up when they know they're not going to make it, and holy crap. Okay, so this circles back to what I was saying, that, whoo, lots of money to be had here. And we got another ribbon. We found one previously. Oops, why did I go to key items? I don't know. And I was sharing with you guys that I think these are nice, and you're not going to find a whole lot of them in the game. So we threw one on Rohit. Let's add the other one. I don't think Burl really needs it. It's going to be either Tyrone or Melvin. I think I'm going to actually give it to Tyrone. Because, again, the description says that it sometimes protects from special attacks. But now I'm kind of second guessing myself. And I'm not really sure if he's the one I want to give it to. Oh, goodness gracious. You know what? Let's go ahead and just stick with that. I think that's going to be the play here. I'm kind of torn, though, and I sort of want to give it to Melvin instead, but it'll be fine. You guys, Muddle is almost too good. When you get the whole crowd fighting each other, woo, it relieves a lot of the pressure from you, that's for sure. Let me see what's over this way. Maybe nothing, but we want to check, and oh my gosh, another one of you stupid sharks. I probably shouldn't be too upset about the shark showing up. It is still gold / gil, and it is still XP. It's not the most, but the fights go by quickly, so it is what it is. Now, what the heck? Is there just nothing over here? I think that's just going to loop me completely around. Let me run back down to where those stairs are. I feel like I need to backtrack to where we were before we did this whole weird path that we took. But I don't know if I'm ready to go back yet. And I can always go back through the dungeon myself at the end of it. That's really where I guess I'm kind of split. Do I want to make sure I'm looking through all of the floors before I advance to the next one, or do I want to just run back through? Because don't forget, we've got teleport now, so... Okay, that's how we got in here, I think. Or was it down this way that we got in here? Let me check the room. I don't even remember how we entered this area. Yeah, muddle makes the difference, especially if there's like a huge group of enemies, then it really takes them out. Oh my gosh, what is this? We've got 8135 gil and another fight. It's okay, we're rich though, so I can't be mad about it. Let's just go ahead and I need to rearrange my inventory again. Since I had equipped the ribbon, I should have done that immediately afterwards, but it's all good. It's all good. I don't know what takes out the Aquos. I guess they're weak to bolts, right? Because they're water? I mean, their name is Aquos, so I would assume fire's not going to do anything, but let's just see. Just to be sure. I mean, Aquos, Aqua, that's probably what's going on, right? We'll just assume as much. Well, we've got to say sayonara to you, bozos. You've got to go. And yeah, that fire did nothing. I'm guessing the bolt 2 will get the job done. So, I will just throw this out there that I'm hoping we'll be able to exhaust everything here in the Sunken Shrine in this episode. But if not, we will wrap up everything in our next video. And I kind of mentioned this already in our previous episode that we're really not too terribly far off from completing this game. We're well over halfway through. So I'm not sure how many episodes we're going to get out of this. I think we'll stay under 60 or maybe a couple episodes past that 60 mark. I guess it depends on how long it takes me to get through a couple of areas. You never really know. Sometimes I can just blast on through and life is good, but sometimes it takes me a minute and I have to do a little bit of backtracking or backpedaling. Nevertheless, I had shared with you guys an episode or two ago that we're going to finish this game up first before we circle back to Lufia and the Fortress of Doom. That will get us through 2021, and then I've got a nice robust list of options for the end of 2021 / what might take us into 7690 gil, what will take us into 2022. So I'm really excited about what lies ahead for us. I will certainly I was going to say I will certainly gather your feedback, maybe via a poll, but now that I'm thinking about it, what I might do is pick a couple of games that I would be interested in playing and then let you guys vote on it from there. I mean, historically, I've kind of just given you the options of like what platform or console you think would be best for me to play on next. And then from there, I kind of selected the game myself, or I let people just give general feedback on what games they would like to see eventually, and then I kind of compiled my own list and picked from there. But maybe I'll do sort of a pseudo-reverse format where I pick out a list of games that I feel like playing, or I highlight what console I'm wanting to play, and then I allow you guys to narrow it down for me from there. That might be what I do, actually. I think that's the game there. That's going to be the approach. And okay, I really need to remember to organize my inventory because scrolling all the way like this is going to be a pain. And I need you to stop, Deep Eyes. That is not cool at all. I'm not appreciative of your attempts to mess up my team. We're not having that. So the white shark should be donezo. We'll get another heal off. And Tyrone's just going to throw out some choppy chops too. And as you guys can see, he's packing a wallop. So with Saber, I'm telling ya, Tyrone is going to be able to stand up with Rohit. I think they'll be shoulder to shoulder in what they can bring to the team. Let me organize my inventory. I knew I wanted to come in here and mess with this, but I was like, I don't remember exactly what for. But okay, 5,450 more gil. Just so much money on this floor, which, as I mentioned, is absolutely welcome, but it is not quite what I was expecting. I don't remember finding this many. Okay, muddle. There we go. I needed to focus. Anyway, I don't remember finding this many chests that contained gil. I thought there were more items, but I mean, maybe my memory's off, and I probably tackled this section before doing the Rosetta Stone in previous undertakings of the game. I can't really remember, but anyway, let's go ahead and grab some Giant's Gloves and then 385 gil. Always wonderful let's take a look at those new gloves that we picked up. Okay, if I can get my life together, then that would be wonderful. So gloves with the saber effect. Ooh, baby. And you guys just heard me talking about the value of saber on Tyrone. So no, that was not necessarily intended as my transition to us grabbing the Giant's gloves here. I swear that was not planned. I did not remember that the Giant's gloves were in this room. But either way you slice it, that's a great little pickup. Let me see. I really like the protect rings, to be honest with you guys. Oh, can I not? I guess I should have seen who can actually wear these gloves. Hold on. This can only be equipped by Rohit in our party because it's for warriors, knights, ninjas, and red wizards. Now, here's the problemo. Do I want to remove the protect ring just to have the Giant's gloves? I don't think so. Because everyone can use, and I want to say this is unique to this remake. Don't hold me to this, friends, but I'm pretty sure why I'm constantly so apprehensive about going into just the general item menu for using the spell effects tied to these weapons is because in the original Final Fantasy, I'm going to say I'm 75% sure you had to have the weapon or object equipped on your party to utilize its spell effect. But in this version, they've allowed anyone to use any of the spell effects tied to any of the items as long as you keep it in your inventory. So I think that's why it like throws me off, but I think the best play here is to leave the protect ring on Rohit, and then we'll just have access to the giant gloves in our pool of items like we've been doing with every single other weapon or object that we've picked up. So no harm, no foul here. I think it's going to work out just fine. My gosh, those ghosts just do so much damage. Oh, I hate seeing them. They are not my favorite. That is for sure. Okay, I think we just made like a full circle, did we not? Maybe we didn't, because this obviously is a new chest for us, and whatever. We'll leave you guys. Why do I even do the AoEs with you guys? It's not like you've got anything going on. You know what, let's just try. I don't think we've seen the saber effect, have we? I don't think we have. I've not used a whole lot of the newer spells that we picked up just to preserve my charges, but I probably should have, because after we obtained the Rosetta Stone, it ended up being just fine for us to go back and heal up. So I'll do my best to show you guys quite a few of the new things that we ended up picking up, because I do think that it will bring a little bit of extra variety. But yeah, I just want you to see. Tyrone is gonna, he didn't get a chance to go first, but I swear you will get to see the impact of Saber sooner rather than later. And oh, there's a level for Burrow. I guess we've been fighting more creatures than I thought we had been, but 14 HP, some strength, some intelligence, endurance, and luck. So that probably means Tyrone will be getting another level soon too. Oh my goodness, what could possibly be here guarding this? A stupid white shark. And will you guys leave poor old Rohit alone? That would be wonderful. I mean, one hit and you're down. Why even come up to me? Who knows? But we have another light axe. Look at that. That makes two of them. That is so interesting. I don't recall finding two of these. That's weird. Okay. Works for me. We'll happily grab that and continue on our merry little way. Did we already come in this room? I think this is the first one we went into, I want to say. Alrighty, and they're gone. We'll take our 1200 gil, and actually out of curiosity, I want to see, where is Tyrone? Okay, so he will be leveling up pretty soon. Okay, that's nice. And yeah, this is where we kind of started off. So let's see what's up this way. I think this is the only path we've not yet taken. Oh gosh, not you guys, please, no. Perfect example of the value of muddle. And I also think I will try the mage's staff. We'll see. We'll see. I need to be healing up Rohit pretty soon, because he is not loving all the damage he's had to take. And we're going to want everyone to be at max HP pretty soon. I will not tell you exactly why, but I think you guys all have a feeling why we're going to want to be at max HP. We've got all of the potions still in our inventory that we've not really had to use, or maybe I stocked up. I don't even remember. But we should be fine. I'm not too worried about it. Our levels are also well past what they need to be for us being down here. So, oopsie poopsie, that might have been my bad with some of the backpedaling I had to do for revisiting areas to get enough gills so that we could make sure we could afford all of the spells. My team is just a very expensive one to upkeep. You won't really experience this if you're not a loser like me and go for a triple mage party. I ended up kind of doing a bit of a hackney breakdown, and this is not normal or typical at all. Okay, I don't know which way we want to go. Let's start off this way, just to make sure. What on earth? I guess this takes us around to the other side. Oh my gosh. You know, I was saying, this place is not that confusing to navigate. And then I end up on this floor, and now I'm already like, okay, let's take that back. Let's take it back real quick. Whew, that shield. Doing the Lord's work. You go, Rohit. He kind of needs it right now. He's been getting beat up a little bit. What I also could do, I think I've mentioned this to you guys a few times, that if you feel like the person that you have at the top is getting bullied a little too much, I'm pretty sure that the enemies tend to focus the leader of your party, so I could switch him out with Burl for a little while until those heals end up stacking. And okay, what is this? What on earth? Is this how I got up here? I think this is how I got down here, but I went up and around. Okay, so I did do a circle for absolutely no reason. Anyway, you guys, I hope life is treating you well. You may notice that compared to our previous episode, the dogs are a little bit quieter. They each are nibbling on their Kongs full of some yummy peanut butter, so they should be quieter for at least a couple of episodes in this recording session. And I do apologize again for their enthusiasm as I was ending our previous episode. They were just having a blast. My dogs are a hoot and a half. How many of you guys have pets? I think for those of you who followed me for a while, you know I'm a little bit of a crazy cat lady, but without the cats, I've got a whole lot of guinea pigs, a whole lot of birds, and now multiple dogs. So exciting for me. And I don't have neighbors since I have all of this space on my new property, so I don't really have to worry about anyone being upset about whether I have 2 dogs, 3 dogs, or, you know, a flippin' goat if I want to have a goat. I've got the space for it. So that is really nice, I think, about having your own property, and especially ensuring that you've got some acreage that affords you a bit of wiggle room and space from having to deal with either nosy neighbors or neighbors that tend to complain about everything. I've actually got a friend right now I was talking to recently just about the whole like home owning thing and looking for houses that kind of fit your long-term goals or short-term goals, because there are some people that they just need to buy for a little bit and then they'll flip it and move into a bigger home once they have a couple of kiddos, whatever. She and her husband just bought a house, and it is absolutely adorable, and they've got 2 kids. She just had a baby recently, and why are there no chests in any of these rooms? But her neighbor is a pain in the butt. She was telling me that anytime they do anything, the neighbor's always kind of watching out the window. Okay, that's how we started, so we'll go over here to the left-hand side. She said the neighbor will sometimes be watching out the window, and they've got one of those drones. And she's had it happen a few times where she's noticed that the neighbor's drone is hovering over their backyard. I mean, kind of some pseudo-invasive stuff, and I'm not sure really how to advise how you'd proceed with that, because on one hand, you don't want to sour your relationship with your neighbor, especially if you are planning on living in that location for like the next 5 to 10 years. You don't want to have an antagonistic or enemy-like relationship with your neighbor, but I also think there are such a thing as boundaries and mutual respect, and if a neighbor is wilding like that and already crossing very clear boundaries, not only in terms of privacy, but even just in the sense of common decency, I don't know. I am torn. She and I were kind of talking about how she wants to go over and say something, but she also knows that they're going to be there for a little while and she doesn't want to worsen the relationship. And she was telling me it's just so weird whenever they have people over to maybe like have a cookout or a barbecue, or she's really heavily involved in her church scene. And she was saying they had a women's group over and the drone was just hovering over her backyard while they were just sitting there. Like, what are you doing, neighbor? If you want to participate, be a normal person and knock on the door or come over and say, hey, I saw you guys gathering. I baked some cookies. Do you mind if I join? You know, it's one thing to come over to introduce yourself or to inquire of what's going on and wanting to make yourself involved and present in your neighbor's life. But to do so in a really creepy way like that, I don't know. That gives me the heebie-jeebies and weird vibes, and certainly I feel good with my decision to purchase a property that has so much space, and I really only have one neighbor, and there's a sizable chunk of my land that puts a decent amount of space between us. So I never will see my neighbor unless it just so happens that we're pulling out of our driveways around the same time, because where both of our driveways loop into our acreage. Okay, hold on, but what on earth is even this? Oh, I guess this is where we're supposed to go. This room is beautiful. And the music, it just really lends itself to the atmosphere, does it not? But yeah, anyway, we'll almost never see each other, but behind my home, there's nobody. It's a humongous field, so I've got some land back behind my house, and then I guess whoever owns the property behind me, they've got what looks like to be well over 10 acres. It looks like they use a lot of it for wheat or some type of grain, maybe hay. I don't know. Since I live kind of in the middle of nowhere, or my home is in the middle of nowhere, I think it's pretty common for people to farm. I've seen a lot of folks with horses and donkeys and goats and chickens. So I think the person who owns the property behind me uses it for harvesting hay or some type of grain that they're selling to surrounding communities or to private vendors. Okay, maybe this was not where I needed to go. I feel like we're kind of trapped up here now, aren't we? Anyway, the point of all of this being that I know I don't have the energy to deal with this level of tomfoolery, so I needed a lot of space, and I'm really grateful for it because behind me there's nothing but acreage and fields, and to the right of my home, if you're looking out, okay, I guess I should say it this way, if you're facing my home, to the left there is like a forested area, and I own quite a few yards going into that. So even if the people that own the property on the other side of that decided to clear out their portion of the forested area, I still would have several yards of dense trees that would block me. So I will never have neighbors on that side. I will more than likely never have neighbors immediately behind me because it seems to be used for actually harvesting products that can be sold. So I doubt even the people that would sell the property, I doubt someone would build on that land. It looks to me like it will primarily be used for farmland, probably forever. And then to the right, again, if you're facing my home, there is a neighbor, but we've each got about an acre between each other. So we never, ever interact, and probably won't. But I've met him. I mean, he's a nice guy. I've met a few of the people because the town is so small, you know. It's not like you can really avoid one another. And even without fully moving into the home, in the process of the last couple of months of getting the home and getting a couple of things down here and just, you know, looking through it, having the appraisal, blah, blah, blah. I've met a few people and they know that I'm the purchaser of that specific property. So I have met the neighbor, and he's a great person, but in spite of liking most of the people, I still want my privacy, and I do not want anyone right up my butt. I don't care how much I like you. I don't want to have to talk to you every single day, and I certainly don't want to be put in the position to where if there is kind of a weird situation going on, you can't really stop it outside of having like a come to Jesus talk. And it just makes it really awkward, especially if you do have to have the come to Jesus talk and then you guys are right up each other's butts all the time, because you're always going to see each other. It's, I think, going to always create that weird elephant in the room energy. And let me put that on pause. Tyrone gained a level with 4 HP. I don't know why I even get excited about you gaining levels anymore, but he did get some strength, some intelligence, and some luck. So, you know, that's worth something, right? I don't think anything's over. Yeah, nothing's over this way. So we will go up. Okay, we won't go up, but we will get into what will be the final fight in our episode, hopefully anyway, because behind this door, I do believe, is where it is we need to be going. So we will round out my story with me just saying I feel really bad for my girlfriend because that neighbor is being very weird, very disrespectful, and in my opinion, I feel like I would probably say something, but it's easier said than done, right? If I was technically in her shoes and I had to see a neighbor every day and our mailboxes are like right next to each other and our driveways are right next to each other, and basically you can see through the other person's window when you look out your window because your homes are that close together in a neighborhood. It's easy for me to sit here and be like, well, I would just tell her to take that drone and stuff it, but then, you know, we're not the ones that have to then live with the aftermath of that type of confrontation. We're not the ones that have to see that person every day, that have to walk past that person every day. I don't know. I think it's a weird situation, and I feel for her. But that is why I know me, and I knew it just would be better to avoid that altogether, and I need to live a relatively remote and isolated life because I just don't have time for this. And people are so wild, you guys, as evidenced by the story I shared with you with that nutbag following me around town for flippin' ever. It just is so crazy to me. So yeah, I did not even want to entertain that neighbor drama. It is not for me. That shit is for the birds. But anyway, friends, thank you so much for joining me for yet another episode of Let's Play Through Final Fantasy I via the lens of Final Fantasy Origins. When we come back together in episode number 40, we will move forward into that room that I just gave you a glimpse of. So yes, you know we are ready to tackle another one of the evil fiends and the evil presences in this world. And hopefully we will be successful in taking them down so that we can save not only the mermaids here in the Sunken Shrine, but all of the inhabitants of the land. Well, until our upcoming episode, friends, take care, be good, and I'll see you guys soon.